2023, Monday. It is currently 1:33 p.m. and I call this first day, first special session to order. Before we begin, I ask that we rise for a moment of silence. At this time, I recognize the clerk to take roll.
Chairman Maglonia Donald,
Present.
Senator Maglonia Paul, Senator Mendiola,
Here.
Representative Ogle.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, all four members are present.
Thank you, clerk. With all four members present, that constitutes a quorum to conduct today's session. And at this time, I would like to open up the floor for public comment. Looks like there's none. I would now like to recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to suspend permanent rules, to amend our agenda, and include the governor's communication 2302 to 2304. So move.
And there's other communication.
And other communication. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. Can I get a second? Was seconded. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We now move on to the next item on the agenda, adoption of journal, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to offer a motion to adopt Rota Legislative Delegation Journal number 2302. So move.
Can I get a second? Motion was made and seconded for the adoption of ROD Journal 2302. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Move on to item D, introduction of local resolutions. There's none. And we move on to the messages from the governor, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have four governor's communication numbers 2301 to 2304.
Thank you, clerk. Discussion from the members. Well, before we move forward, I just want to share with the public what these three communications are. It was from the governor that he notified the delegation that he has signed these bills under law, and so they are now in effect. And this is Rota Local Law 2302 to amend the Rota Resident Identification Card Fee that will be deposited into a revolving fund, and which should be under the expenditure authority of the mayor. The governor also signed House Local Bill 2305 into law, which became Rota Local Law 2303, which amends the Rota Dog Control Act. And it will be placed under the Department of Natural Resources. And the third bill, Senate Local Bill 2301, was signed into law, and it is now Rota Local Law 2304. And this bill is to adjust the compensation for the Rota Casino and Gaming commissioner salaries to suspend the $60,000 per year, and they shall be paid pursuant to 1 CMC subsection 8247. And so that is now law. And so just wanted to clarify and make that known to the public viewing that these communications are for are informing the delegation that they are now Rota local law. Thank you. That any other members? If none, I recognize Senator Mendola.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to add that on the Rota local bill to reduce the salary, one of the provision that we've included, just for clarity, is that at the moment we're struggling with funding source, and we've decided as a delegation to go ahead and adjust that, make the adjustment. But however, upon a commission being, or upon a casino being established, that we would move to go ahead and amend that. So I'd just like to clarify that for the record. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield.
Thank you, Senator Mendola. Any other members? If none, we move on to the next item on the agenda. Messages from the municipal council. There's none. Item H, reports on committee. Oh, I skipped that. Sorry. Let me go back to item F, messages from the mayor of Rota. I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have two mayor's communication, number 2307 and 2308.
Thank you, clerk. Any discussion from the members? I recognize Representative Ogle.
Can you just explain in detail what is the 23-08 communication?
Thank you. Yeah. 23-08 is the nomination for the Rota Municipal Scholarship Board. I believe the mayor had nominated Ms. Tonica Borsinos and Mrs. Valerie Apateng to serve as board members for the Rota Municipal Scholarship Foundation. At this time, I know that the Senate EAGI committee is planning for a hearing on Rota for the Rota nominees to the boards and commissions, and so we are going to try to schedule a time where we can also fit in the public hearing for these nominees around the week of the graduation, so around May 30th to June 1st, somewhere between those days. So we'll just have the two meetings around those times. All right. Any other discussion? I recognize Senator Mendiola.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Further, I'd just like to express that the Honorable Mayor Mayor Aubrey has expressed her support on the strong support on Rep. Julie's work on the delegation funds to go ahead and move and pay those employees that were not paid. So that's the House communication, or the House bill that we're going to be entertaining today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Mendiola. Any other members? If none, we move on to item H, reports of communications from heads of departments and agencies. There's none. Item I, House communications. And at this time, I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to offer a motion to place communication 2315 on today's bill calendar for action. So move.
All right, motion was made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We now move on to Senate communications, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have three Senate communication, numbers 2306 to 2308.
Thank you, clerk. Any discussion from the members? If none, we now move on to the next item, delegation matters. There's none. Item L, miscellaneous communications, and I recognize the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one miscellaneous communication, number 2303.
Thank you, clerk. Members, the miscellaneous communication 2303 is the additional patients that have submitted their certification. There's actually supposed to be, the first one that we added was from the last session. Yes. So this session we have one that submitted at an earlier time, and then if we have Can we enter the unnumbered communication as well? It's an additional medical documents. And members, this has been forwarded to you via WhatsApp. And so we will be adding a total of 3 individuals to the list. And so the figures that we had discussed earlier already included these 3 additional patients. And so by accepting this communication, that would confirm each member's approval to add these 3 on the list. And so any other comments before we take the vote? If none, I recognize the clerk, and this is to accept communication 2303 and 2304.
Senator Manglona Paul. Senator Mendiola Dennis.
Yes.
Representative Ogo. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, all 4 members voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With all 4 members voting yes, these 3 additional individuals will be included in the certification list. We now move on to the next item, reports of committee. There's none. Unfinished business, there's none. Resolution calendar, we have none. For bill calendar, I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to offer a motion for passage. House Communication 2315. So move. House Bill 2315 or 07.
Can I get a
stand corrected,
second?
I stand corrected, Mr. Chairman. I offer a motion for passage. House Local Bill 2307. So move.
Thank you, Senator Mendiola. Motion was made and seconded. Discussion on the motion. I recognize Representative Julie.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to make a motion to amend the funds for the appropriated amount of $65,000 initially presented on the bill to $52,500 after the Department of Finance Secretary certified it in this amendment. I would also like to present out the breakdowns of the appropriated amounts for this for $52,500. For the mayor's employees back pay of $17,270. Expenditure authority will be the Department of Finance Secretary. For the medical subsistence allowance of $20,700. Also, expenditure authority will be the Department of Finance. $4,080 for the hosting of the military for the medical services in July. That will be the delegation, the 23rd Rota legislative delegation will be the expenditure authority on that. And finally, $9,250 will be appropriated over to the Manamco and for their events in Saipan in about a week or 2. And that expenditure authority will be the Department of Community and Cultural Affairs Office on Aging Coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Julie. I think if we can recognize Senator Mendiola.
I'd just like to add, I think we missed one on that to just even it out. I think we missed the additional for
The 1275.
1275 to go to the delegation.
Yeah.
As part
Yeah.
for the hosting.
Sorry about
Just-
that. Yes,
just wanted to
yes,
make sure.
1,200. What is it?
75
75.
for
Yes,
the delegation.
that's correct. My
Thank
apology
you,
on that
Senator
one. Yes.
Mendiola. What's the total?
So
Sorry, what's the total for the 26 employees?
17,270.
Okay, so to clarify, the appropriation of 56
52,000.
52,500 is broken down. 17,270 is for the 26 personnel that weren't covered from last administration
Correct.
under the mayor's office. The 20,700 is going to the
Subsistence.
medical subsistence
Mhm.
program. 9,250 to the Department of Community and Cultural Affairs Rota under the
Mhm.
expenditure authority of the program coordinator on aging, and a total of 5,275 to the Rota delegation for operations. And just to be clear, and for those viewing, the 5,275 to the delegation for operations will be used to mainly cover the expenses of the 25 military individuals that will be going to Rota in July to provide free medical services to our people. And so they've reached out to the delegation to assist with meals for at least for lunch for them. And these group of soldiers will be conducting free um, ortho checkups as well as physicals and optometry and veterinarian services. And so, as the days come closer, we ask you to reach out to the mayor's office to sign up for these free services. And so, that will bring the total out to the 50 to 500. Any other discussion from the members?
Um,
So on the amendment, we're going to vote on the amendment. Oh, can I get a second on that amendment?
Second.
Sorry, Rep. Julie, you made the motion.
Oh, sorry.
I second that.
All right, a motion was made and seconded. Can I call on the clerk for roll call?
Senator Manglonia Paul. Senator Mendiola.
Yes.
Representative Ogo.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, all four members voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With all four members voting yes, the amendment hereby passes, and we are now back to the main motion. Discussion on the main motion.
Ready.
Ready? And I recognize the clerk.
Senator Manglonia Paul. Senator Mendiola.
Yes.
Representative Ogo. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, all four members voted yes.
Thank you, clerk. With all four members voting yes, House Local Bill 23-7 D1 hereby passes. We now move on to the next item on the agenda. Miscellaneous business. Members, any announcements or recognize Senator Manglonia?
It's a scheduled meeting on May 18 that we have with the CIP office. And this is just a meeting that I arranged, but I ask that if any of you have time to please come to this meeting, as we will be discussing various projects on Rota, as well as CIP funding, as well as the need for architect, engineer, and so on and so forth. 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Location, Senator Manglonia?
At the CIP office.
Thank you, Senator Manglonia. I recognize Senator Mendiola.
Also, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I just want to also stress to the delegation, our team, that I think we need to come together and really focus on this issue with Rota Resort so that we can try and get to the bottom of that and try and push that investment forward so that we don't lose any more sellability or, economic activity in Rota. So I think the delegation should come together and we should push for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Senator Mendiola. Representative Ogle?
I just want to say thank you to our governor for signing off on all the three bills that's on today's agenda, or communications. And then also I would like to congratulate Rota High School, Dr. Rita Inus High School graduates of 2023 and the promotees, and also Biba Miss Manamko, and happy belated Mother's Day to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Hogo. I recognize Senator Mangonia.
Again, once again, Mr. Chairman, I believe I have raised this issue up with our legal counsel or the delegation members. Might have been in the last delegation, but I want to again maybe inform the chairman and the members, and maybe the legal counsel can come up with a clarification on the Rota Casino Commission. I believe I mentioned there that the need back then on clarifying who are the members of the Rota Casino Commission, because there's no sense in having meetings and then if there should be a new casino coming in, we don't, we have members that are not really officially members, because I remember that one of the communication that our own legal counsel sent to the delegation was that the last members that were appointed were never really confirmed by the municipal council. And if they were never really confirmed, then they are technically or were technically rejected. Whatever the decision, we should at least uh, get it resolved so that there is no question if there's any decision made by the casino commission, or if there's any financial obligation made by the commission, we know that they're legally done on behalf of the government. So I just want to get that clarified, and I hope the legal counsel can look into that. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Mangonia. I think just to add on to each of your statements today, since there seems to be a lot that's going to happen around the week of the graduation, I hope that the members can make it down at least the weekend prior. I know February 26th, or sorry, May 26th, there's an awards promotion ceremony if members will be attending. But if anything, the following Monday, I know is a holiday. And so if members are still around up until the end of that week, June 2nd, since we have the graduation on the 31st and possibly the confirmation on the 30th or June 1st, we can schedule a meeting with the mayor as well as the remaining members of the commission, or even find out who their legal counsel is and call them in and see what their interpretation of the law is, because they are challenging that these certain members are still valid, and so we can get that clarification as well as speak to the mayor in regards to appointees, or whether she has the power to recall any of the commissioners, or even uh, I guess we can sort all of that out by our next delegation session. Additionally, if members will all be down there, we can also. I was still trying to schedule a meeting with CBDG as well as OGM and hopefully CIP to actually fly down to Rota around that week, so that we can also try to help them meet with our departments, because as some of you may have been getting calls that these agencies they've been given a hard time in trying to communicate with the right person to get and to push their grants forward. And so I'll confirm with the members if that's still the case. And so, just to give you a heads up so that maybe you can try to make arrangements or see if you can stay a little longer. I know it's budget season as well, and so we'll be real busy with the budget. I know Rep. Julie in the House, as well as the all three members here in the Senate from Rota are on the Fiscal Affairs Committee, and so we have to kind of take that into consideration as well. But I'll inform you and I'll confirm these information as we get closer to that week, and so that members can make arrangements with that. Any other members? If none, we move on to announcements. Item R. Again, members, if you're able to make it to Rota on the 26th at 1:30 p.m., is the RHI promotion or special award ceremony. Then the graduation's on the 31st. Any other announcements, members? If none, and then again, just to clarify, May 18th, 1 p.m., CIP office, Senator Manglonia has scheduled a meeting with them if members will be available. Rep. Julie will be acting chair between May 18th to the 22nd or 23rd, as I will be out. Thank you. We now move on to the next item on the agenda, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I move for adjournment.
Can I get a second? Motion was made and seconded for the adjournment of today's session. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. This session is hereby adjourned at 1:59 p.m.